Nerds of the world, how are you doing today? I hope you are doing great and having an amazing time. Today, we are going to talk about something which is, I can say, ubiquitous in the software development world called Agile. And it has actually changed the way we looked at things. And now AI has also come. So, what is the relation between Agile and AI? How they sit together or, don't sit together? And to talk about all those things and more, I have a very special guest with me. Let me invite Florin. Florin, welcome to the Nerd Diary. And Florin is having 30 years of experience in Agile and has worked with different products and in the role of project and product management. He is based out of Romania, and I will ask Florin to introduce himself.
Yeah, thank you, Dash. Thank you for inviting me, for having me. Hi, everybody. My name is Florin, also known as Manolo, as you can see on the screen, I suppose. That's my nickname since high school. I'm based in Bucharest, in Romania, born and raised here, which is not that usual those times, let's say. I'm right now working in IT as my whole career as a release train engineer. And in parallel, I'm also a solopreneur. I'm a professional Scrum trainer with Scrum.org. I'm a certified training partner with Sense and Learn for Learning. And besides my full-time job and the trainings, I also run a community here in Romania, Agile Minds Romania, together with some colleagues. And yeah, I like a lot to discuss about Agile in the past year, about AI. And yeah, besides that, I have a small boy, 5 years old. Takes a lot of time and energy, and yeah, really into music and football and books.
Great to know about you, Florin, and good to know that you are doing so many things, despite having a full-time job. And I'm sure, you are learning a lot, and we are going to get some of the learning over here today. Okay. So let's start the discussion with, you know, the very basic thing called Agile Manifesto. As of today, it's called basic because it's so ubiquitous, people know about it. Around 25 years back, it came and it taken the world of software industry by storm. And I'm sure you have lived through the journey where organizations have migrated from, waterfall model to agile model. Uh, just wanted to understand your experiences with those organizations, how it was, and uh, did agile actually help them to be what they want to be?
Yeah, that's really interesting, and it was a long journey, and the journey still continues, if you ask me, Dash. For sure, we learn a lot from switching from to Agile from Waterfall. I learned a lot, actually. I used to work for many years in Waterfall projects, implementing different IT systems for Romanian public companies, administration like ministries and some other agencies, governmental agencies. And at some point, I figured it out that we are losing a lot of time, and we are losing a lot of value, and how we are implementing those projects in a waterfall way. It was a long road from outside Bucharest to home, 7 hour driving, and that was the point when a project derailed a lot from what should happen in the planning. And I figured it out, there must be some other way, a better way, and that better way was agile. And actually, that was the point that I completely started to switch to agile ways of working. And yeah, it was a big difference since then for me, and it shaped my journey so far. Basically, what agile changed for us. I mean, we broke all the effort in smaller increments. We delivered earlier, faster. We learned faster from what we did. So basically, we became more adaptable uh, to the changes that were happening. And basically, when my team at that time and the other teams saw the value in this new way of working, they adapted as well, and they followed. Yeah, it was basically a new mindset from how we respond to uncertainties, right? And
Right,
how we learned from what the feedback was.
right. I was talking to one guest other day, uh, who is going to appear on my podcast after you. So she was telling me that something had changed in the terms of complexity. Earlier, things were complex, but today the complexity has increased manifold because if you think about one app or one website, it was limited to that. But now you have to get notifications on whichever devices you have, and the the area has broadened a bit. So uh, I just want to understand, like, in today's world, what's the role of agile in handling these kind of complex scenario? Because it's kind of limitless. We'll talk about AI in a moment. So, what's your take on this?
I think what is happening right now in the software industry in general, is due to agile. Honestly, because that enabled us to adapt, and this new way of working made us to find better ways on how we deliver software continuously and how we interact with this software. It changed the whole experience for us as a customer, and for everybody. And combined with the technologies that were emerging in the past 25 years, I mean, like mobile phones, a lot of devices, that made us more creative. And I think Agile was something that helped with this creativity on how to work. And basically, instead of working in Waterfall like hand off the plan and wait, okay, right now what is happening is build, inspect, adapt, and repeat, and react to the inputs from the market, from the customers, from the expectations of those people. So I think this is what happened. The complexity increased a lot. Sometimes it's overwhelming, but yeah, we have this possibility to respond fast. I mean, with short iterations is really easy to respond and to adapt.
Right. I just like to add one point from my side on this. What I realized today is that most of the products on which we are working on, it's always on the evolution path. If you think about some 20-25 years back, you want to build something, and that point of time the product considered as built, considered as
Yeah,
complete. But now by the time you build, some new devices comes up, new kind of interaction comes up. So effectively it's going on a loop, and agile has actually helped us because of the iteration, where that okay, today this is what we are trying to do, but tomorrow something else will come up. Is that correct
yeah,
assessment?
it is correct. I mean, uh, all the time you need to be really in sync with the market, with the new needs, with the new devices, with the new opportunities that are appearing in the market. I remember you mentioned about that we consider it a build and done, somehow incomplete. I remember when I installed Windows from floppy disks, there were like 30 or so floppy disks installing Windows. That was 25 years ago. That's not the case anymore. So the software is continuous, developed. It basically that doesn't end at some point in time. So you need to be able to adapt all the time to continuous deliver. So are we playing an infinite game? Maybe. But if you don't play this game, probably you'll disappear from the market, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely
Yeah.
right. And, it's highly competitive now as of today. So you have to play this game now. Coming back to AI, because it seems that AI you will have to talk about whether you like it or not like it. It's there in everyone's drawing room or dinner conversation. It's there. So I have a very simple question. In your opinion, in your experience, you have lots of experience with agile. Now you have decent amount of experience with AIs also, and companies how they transforming to AI world. AI and agile, they are same, different, complementary, enemy, friend. What are they?
Uh, there are all of them, depending on the perspective and how you look at it. I think the best I could describe they are complementary. They are not identical. They are not purely competitive with each other. Uh, I mean, agile. What is agile? It is a new ways of working to respond to uncertainty, right? AI is a set of tools, technologies, maybe. Okay, you can speed up a lot of things like analysis, prediction, building, writing code, right? And that makes all the loops that we discussed, the feedback loops, faster and maybe more informed because AI enables you to, let's say, digest a lot of data and to grow, to understand faster and better the information that you have at hand. So that's an overlap, learning quickly from the feedback that you get, right? Um, uh, Opposite. I mean, what I'm seeing right now is like AI is pushed to the teams in general towards automation, right? Automate as much as possible with AI. And let the model decide thinking, and that's I don't think it's a good thing because it conflicts with the agile emphasis on human judgment. I mean, on collaboration, responding to change. Uh, if you adopt AI in a proper way, the collaboration, the human judgment, maybe really be increased in some teams. But it depends on how AI is adopted. What's the strategy behind? Okay. Uh, on the competition between Agile and AI, if you think of how afraid people are they will be replaced by AI tools,
Right.
yeah, maybe AI is competing with Agile because right now everybody is saying, okay, I need only two developers and a bunch of AI agents, and the work is done. So I don't need an Agile team for this. But I think that's an illusion of speed, actually, because the code written by AI should be understood, should be validated. All the assumptions, all the needs of the customers should be validated, understood, right? Continuously.
Agreed.
So, yeah, that's my take on this.
You rightly said it's all of them, depending upon the perspective you are looking at it, and I'm sure that it's true to some extent. It's impacting the things in such a way where its impact will be there in each and everything. So you talked about agile values, right? The first thing I remember for close to 20 odd years since I was exposed to agile, individuals and interactions over processes and tools. The first dent to this definition came with the arrival of COVID when we, moved online, right? So, and then people said that still we are interacting over, you know, Zooms, Google Meets, and Microsoft Teams. But now the second dent it looks like is coming from the AI. Like it's no longer, you know, if you talk to AI teams, it's no longer about how you are interacting with other team members. It's all about how you are interacting with your AI, how you are using your tokens in an optimized way. Like all the prompt engineering, if you think about it, prompt engineering is all about you learning how to better interact with AI, right? So it's individuals and interactions become, individuals interactions with AI rather than, more about individuals and interactions. What's your take on this?
That's a really interesting question, Daksh. Uh, I think this value does not disappear at all, actually, as it wasn't disappearing during the COVID. I think it was Chris Stone that wrote something like individuals and the interactions enabled by processes and tools, right? When
Right,
COVID came, basically we used the tools like Zoom and some other tools to enable our interaction and collaboration because it was a different setup, right? So it was basically tested this value. And one of the question I'm thinking is not agile or AI or agile value or AI, but is how do you use, we will use AI inside agile culture without losing the human sense
right,
and the human collaboration, right? Because AI, it is a tool, a very powerful one, but still people and collaboration should come first from my perspective. Okay, using this powerful tool, right? Because I'm not sure, but I'm hearing everywhere human in the loop all the time. Critical
right.
thinking is really important. Better teamwork, faster feedback, human judgment, conversations. So I don't think AI at some point, at this point at least, may replace our judgment about when to pivot, for example, when to adapt, right?
No, it just onto your point about pivoting. At least I can tell safely that 99% of the time AI will say whatever idea you are throwing at AI, it will say that it's one of the most amazing idea. I think it is, it's no longer a secret that AIs are programmed to keep you hooked on the, with the AI, right? It's not programmed to help you, right? So that's why, we are seeing all the cases of AI psychosis because it's programmed in that particular way. So pivoting is, I'm sure, it's something only, at least today, and hopefully in the future also this kind of judgment will come from the human, because human can think from, you know many aspects, which I think it's relatively vague to say that an LLM can do, right?
Yeah,
So that's a,
and
that's a good point. Yeah.
yeah, and I think the biggest risk is making the tool AI the center of the gravity. I mean, I mean, if if the team starts to trust AI more than your peers or your teammates, then I think we have a problem, right?
Right. We have.
So we need that shared understanding which is needed, and that is accomplished. This shared understanding and ownership is accomplished through collaboration, to conversations, to discussions, reviews, change of ideas, brainstorming, right? You may use AI in this process, but I guess you may use it to make the conversation better, not to replace the conversation, right?
Right.
So if it silences the conversation, then it undermines the value in general.
Agreed. Agreed. That's a good point. It has to uh, enhance the conversation instead of taking over the conversation, because once AI takes over the conversation, then the human value itself goes out of the picture. Right. Right. So, Florin, there is one question I am hearing from lots of agile teams. Like, they are saying that, is the concept of story points and velocities that is there actually, and all the dashboards are based on that. To be frank, right?
Yeah,
So, are they still valid in the age of AI? Because instead of making sure that how much time I will take to complete one thing. It's more now about my iterations with AI, because it will complete that in 5 minutes. Maybe what I want, I will get it after 5 hours. So is that still something to, I mean, to look after? That's, at least in my country, this is one of a very big question, because we are predominantly a service based industry.
Yes, that's a really great question. And actually, I had a conversation about this on Friday with my teams in my current project. And I'm not sure I have a very good answer, but my take on this one is that they are as relevant as they are today, even with AI. And why I'm saying this, because story points and velocity, those are things which in general are not used very good, let's say. Let's be frank. I mean, people are looking at the velocity thinking they will provide a lot of value to their customers and so on and so forth, and it's about the speed. But indeed, when you are using AI, the coding speed, maybe even the refinement speed may increase. The testing speed may increase, the integrations. I mean, but the story points and the velocity wasn't only about the time. Actually, it was about the conversation. It was about that shared understanding that we discussed. I mean, all those discussions, planning pokers with story points, and what we do right now with the story points, it was to support relative sizing, because it's better than absolute sizing, let's say, and to support discussing the complexity, discussing the risk associated, discussing the unknowns, discussing the dependencies, and based on this, to get this shared understanding for a team. So,
Right.
to evaluate somehow what it will be. Story points may be something, maybe t-shirt sizes or some other some other sizes that may be used by the teams. In general, I think they are still valid for some forecasting. Maybe not the best, but it's a way. I know a lot of teams using story points and velocity for forecasting their work, but without telling so much about the value or the quality of the learning. Uh, so if you are starting to think about how many points did AI do,
Mm-hmm.
I think we are measuring the wrong thing. I mean, because because the important question is that if the team is delivering outcomes faster and more safely, or with a better quality with AI, not how many points the AI will deliver. You
Right.
know.
I'm sure you must have faced this, because in last 20 odd years since I'm using Agile, more people are worried about points being delivered than the value being delivered or outcome being delivered. And even if you are delivering good outcome but with bad set of points, then um, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yes. So basically, from what I am seeing here is that if the teams are using story points and velocity, which is fine, uh, they should shift the planning questions from how many story points will deliver in this sprint to how quickly can we learn and adapt and finish and deliver a usable increment, a usable piece of
Right.
software for our customers. I think that's more relevant because you may deliver hundreds of story points without any value. Been there, done that, honestly. so, uh, so you may keep the story points to improve the conversation. I have a team in my current project. They didn't change anything with AI. I mean, they are still estimate with story points like they don't have AI. And when I asked, why are you doing this? It was something they said, we still need time to inspect what AI did, to review, to adapt, to finish, maybe, or to change if the output is not what we want. Because, as we know, AI output is not that deterministic, it's probabilistic. So
Right.
you may get something which is not according with what you like or what the customer wants, right?
Right. So when you talked about this, probabilistic output, there is one more question which people are asking. Let's say if me as a software developer, if my job is just to review the code, my speed of reviewing the code will be much slower than the AI speed of generating the code. And this is something, it's problematic because nobody is able to figure it out, and people uh, who are not involved in that directly are having totally different set of opinion, just as if like looking at things is relatively easier than building things. What I'm saying is that building is easy, debugging is hard, looking at someone else's code is even harder. So what should people who are listening to this, what how they can explain this situation to their stakeholders? Reviewing take maybe much longer time than if AI had generated something. You cannot ask like a human, hey buddy, hey bro, why the hell you did that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
uh, I think I read yesterday that actually you can ask why you did it like this, but yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a difference in the expectations. I mean, if I don't know, I saw a lot of companies expecting that the delivery will increase, I don't know, 10 times, 20 times to be faster with AI without than without AI, but actually is not true in general. The delivery is, I think there were some studies like 10% faster or 20% faster probably for good teams. uh, it's just moving a little bit the bottleneck maybe. So you still need to take a look on this, to review it properly, to understand the code. Because I was at an event, so the question was, what if you have a defect in production and your team is saying we don't know how to fix it because AI written the code? So that's about ownership. I mean, you can't say that. So you have to have ownership at some point. I mean, all the time of what you do with the tool, with the AI, and you just can't rely on AI. So I think critical thinking is really important. Human judgment is really important, even if the speed of writing code is faster. Just
Right.
just slow down a little bit, take a look on what AI did, and validate. I mean, I did this mistake, so I'm not a developer for many years, but I try to do something with AI, and I gave AI the whole backlog to implement. You
Okay.
don't. You may do this, but imagine how much code you need to review. So it
Absolutely.
will be really hard to validate an entire product backlog. Let's say. So again, agile comes into play. Yeah, smaller piece of work for AI, validate what it did, review it faster, again learn from this, maybe put into production to get the feedback from the users. So this loop should be again short as much as possible. So uh, I think it's still possible, but yeah, you need to be very careful.
Yes. So, and one question just came to my mind, like if somebody don't want to now track story points or velocity. I mean, velocity they will track in any, in some way or other. But, some people, if they think that story points is no longer a better way of measuring the, how much amount of work is there because of AI. What is that they can use? It just came to my mind, and I'm asking this.
I think they could use outcomes in general, like customer value, like cycle time. Uh, I think they could use, I don't know, defects in production, maybe something like that. Escape defects. Uh, for a team before going live, I mean, I think flow metrics are really important. Optimize for flow, not for speed.
Right,
Right. And zero trust the output until verified.
right.
Mm.
And I think you just said what coaches and like you are saying it for a very long time, right? These are the things that should uh, you should look at, like outcomes, cycle time, concept to cash, right? All those things you should worry about rather than story points and velocity.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, if people actually move to that, I'll say that it's kind of unfortunate that lots of team didn't work under this kind of scenario where these things are measured. They worked mostly on the scenarios where story points and velocities were measured, but it was not correct then also. That's what I feel. Right or wrong?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it depends. Let's say a consultant. It depends on the context. But I think there are places. Uh, if you are going to extensively use AI for coding, I think there are a lot of things that you can measure. Okay. Uh, Days since something happened, days since we learned something, days since we got feedback from, I don't know, stakeholders, users. Uh, uh, we can do a lot of things that could add more value than just writing code. Okay.
Right,
Confirming that we are aligned with the business goals. Let's say that we are not just writing code for the sake of writing code, right? Uh, we discuss about security risks. We discuss about operations, service reliability. For example, if you have a product online, yeah, we can discuss about a lot of value added things. Letting AI writing code, of course, reviewing it and so on, and measure some other stuff, right?
yeah,
Measure things that are helping us to understand better where we are and what is the gap between what we deliver and customer expectation.
agreed. So you have lots of valid points, and I'm sure that one podcast is not enough to cover all those things. So if somebody want to go ahead and read some of your things, do you have any blog contact information or something you can share?
Yeah, sure. I don't write a lot blogs because I'm quite lazy, honestly. And But I have my own website, agilefm.ro. It's is in English, so not only for Romanian people. It's in English. Everybody can understand. I have there some blogs written by me from my experience. Human written, not AI written. And also, you can find me on LinkedIn. Just search for my name, Florin Manolescu. You will find me. Also, you can search Agile Minds Romania on LinkedIn for the community, and Scrum.org website as well, and Sensor Response Learning website. I'm there with my profile and what I'm doing, and by email all the time. Florin.manolescu at gmail.com. Uh, I will be happy to be discussed with everyone who writes me.
Sure. So I will share this in the description, and if people want to talk to you, they can write an email or connect on LinkedIn anyway. Right.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm really happy.
Okay. So There is one more pressing things that comes with the AI and Agile is the roles, right, and
Hmm.
responsibilities, like product owner, Scrum Master. Let's talk about product owner. For long, the idea of acceptance criteria was, you know, kind of um, a domain which was limited to product owner only because product owner decided the acceptance criteria. Now, today, like if somebody is using Atlassian Intelligence, for example, in Jira or some other AI tool, it can create, you know, it can break down the stories, create acceptance criterias. So, does it, dilutes the role of a product owner, or should product owner actually still own the acceptance criteria and not to outsource it, because there may be some benefits like you know most of the time, even if you are 90% right, the 10% fails you, right? So what is that you are going to suggest to the product owners and the stakeholders, like, are the roles still important? If yes, why and what they should do?
Okay. Well, the roles are still important. There is an interesting exercise that we are doing in the PSM AI Essentials class and the PSPO AI Essential class. It's about what humans can do and AI can't.
Okay.
And you ask people, students, about this, and there are some quadrants there in the exercise. And let's think about what the owner does. The product owner maximizes the value of the work done by the developers in Scrum, at least. Okay, that's the definition. Let's say, what doesn't mean maximize the value. So product owner, he owns the product, or he or she owns the product, uh, manages the product backlog, is accountable for the product backlog. So it might it might delegate some of the things that the product owner can do to some others, either to the developers or some subject matter experts or someone else, or to some tools like AI. It might delegate the work, like writing user stories, acceptance criteria, backlog items, I don't know, creating user personas, for example, right? Help
Right.
refining, splitting the product backlog items. But it's still the accountability of the product owner to decide what matters, what is valuable, and what are the trade-offs, what to sacrifice, what to not implement. Okay, so
Right.
basically, it will emphasize the human contribution about product judgment,
Hmm.
understanding the customers, making prioritization trade-offs, holding the strategic intent together with the other stakeholders, right? Achieving the goals of the product, of the business. Those are the things which you can't outsource to AI,
Right.
right? So AI basically could help, could be an assistant for the product owner, but in the end, the product owner is accountable for this. For this, AI may hallucinate a lot, right? I had, again, on Friday, the teams did some refinement using AI, and they weren't very happy about the way the AI split the work, because it was split by acceptance criteria only, and it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't really valuable for them split the work by the acceptance criteria. But there are different kind of ways to split the work to provide value, right, to the customers. So I think it is this connection, the complementary between the value added by AI tools and the value added by the humans, in this case, the product owners or some other roles.
Hmm. Yeah, I just add on to the point where you talked about the teams were not happy with the way stories were splitted. I'll tell you one example of my own. Like, I wanted to create a portfolio website for me. So I think this is the simplest thing an AI can do. So I went ahead and asked AI to. build a website for me, portfolio website for me. Gave all the details, went through few iterations. The problem was, though it built one of the, the best it can as a website, but it's not what I wanted.
You're right.
I mean, it made up so many things about me that I knew for sure that it looks totally artificial, right? The things the AI has written for me, I gave 2 3 lines of my experience, and the things which AI added up, it was the best. It belongs to a superhuman, not to me, right? I mean, the top highly expert person or something. So it was looking fake, right? All the contents were looking fake. Still, it was one of the best possible looking website, but again, it's like it's not what I want. My needs can be fulfilled in a simpler way. I wanted a very simple website, kind of, giving few details here and there, not something complicated with lots of options and lots of color schemes. People who know me, they 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 can be rest assured that I will, in my mind, will never choose those color schemes, even though it was looking nice. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, go
So
ahead.
basically, humans, we are owning the meaning behind the backlogs.
Right,
I think we are providing the context. We are providing the empathy, accountability, right? Ethics behind. AI is a tool who likes to please people. I mean,
right.
this is how the tool is built, probably pleasing people. When you are writing something and it was very good idea, Daksh. That's the first thing that,
Once I build the app, I'll be millionaire.
yeah.
Wait, yeah. So few minutes back, you said that you asked AI to take all the backlogs and do it, right? Assume some companies are trying to experiment on this, like take the backlog, everything, and do it. Then one of the biggest thing which we learned in product management is that your ability to prioritize things, right? But if every backlog is going in one go, then what happens to the prioritization?
Yeah, so don't put the entire backlog in developing. So we need to prioritize for sure. I mean, I think we can. We know that when the context window of AI tools is filled up, so it starts to hallucinate more and more, and the performance decreases. And actually, I read something that if you put several agents to work together, even then the performance decreases because the agents are starting to, I don't know, behave a little bit like us, like people with some biases or stuff like that. So I think we need to have some quite strict review gates, smaller features implementations, right? Validating smaller pieces of the backlog, not the entire backlog at once, and yeah, here agile come to play, let's say. It's like what we discussed at the beginning. So uh, uh, try to understand and to implement iteratively and incrementally, and to understand if you are on the right path, because yeah, I mean, it could implement the whole thing in a bit, but you will not get what you want in the
Right.
end, probably. So I think is really important. And what I also saw when I asked to implement the whole backlog, uh, it was not production ready, honestly. I mean, there
Mm-hmm.
were integrations issues, there were defects, like trivial defects, security risks there, some let's say bad judgment or choices that it did. So start with small increments, validate, learn, and see. It's like working in sprints. Like we control risk by working in smaller iterations uh, to be able to pivot fast if it's needed.
Right.
Even
So,
even sorry, just one more thing. Right now, everybody is saying that it's cheaper than ever to build something, but
right.
actually it it will become more expensive and more expensive. I'm seeing companies like I don't know, cutting from the higher or yeah token usage. So uh, we need to pay attention to those tokens.
Yeah. So, there is one thing that I generally talk about is that um, forget about all the hypes, but do you think that should we slow down a bit? Why I am saying this? Because look, the promise was great when this thing came into picture. I am still to see, my information might be outdated, but I am still to see a company who became 10x or 100x because of AI. Its revenue become 10x or 100x because of AI, or even after firing lots of people, or a product creation becomes 10x to 100x. I mean, I'm not saying seeing any replica of new products like uh, Microsoft Office suite I created by AI, and it is penny price than what Microsoft is charging. Those kind of, I mean, if it is so easy, those kind of things should have come up, right? Anybody in their living room can create a different. I know there are other things like cloud space and disk space that is needed, but for smaller games which runs on individual machines, right? You don't have to build the infrastructure for small things. Even those are not replicated, and some of the news that came around like recently compilers are being written, nobody is using that. It just like it looked more like a advertisement than actual thing. And I mean, should we slow down a bit? People who are in the verge of taking the decisions, should they slow down a bit and see how things are evolving, trying to understand the technology? Like, I have seen that people adopted AI without understanding the technology. And since they were not understanding the technology, they were dependent on what big influencers are saying. And that is not completely true anyway, right? So I want to suggest people to slow down and wait for things to stabilize and see how it evolves, see understand the technology. So again, what's your thought process? Should people slow down a bit on this?
uh, Short answer, yes. They should slow down. People should slow down because right now there is a big hype around AI. Everybody is talking about AI. There is a very big hype. I think the hype is bigger than the value measured with AI delivery. So right now, what I am seeing, and I'm also experiencing myself, organizations are measuring the outputs.
Right.
How many pilots they have, how many prompts, how many tokens did you use, but actually, what are the business outcomes? Someone measure those ones. Uh, I think maybe in the future, AI will be really able to deliver big software like office suites or things like that entirely. But I think those are long-term possibilities, not really necessary right now. I don't think right now I'm seeing any big software delivered entirely with AI. There are small things, and yeah, probably we are delivering 10x faster or 100x faster, but are we delivering 10x more value to our customer? No, I I don't know. I don't think so. Uh, there are really interesting stories like companies firing people and afterwards looking forward to rehire them. because AI delivered code wasn't the best quality, or the defects rating being increased. So there is a high rate of adoption, but I'm seeing low impact so far yet. Mm,
I was recently reading a blog on Medium where somebody said that, I built lots of apps with Cloud Code and submitted to the App Store. App is there. Zero downloads, zero revenue, zero traction, zero everything. Right. And recently there was some news that YouTube is cracking down on all the AI related videos. Lots of
okay.
or AI channels. I'm not sure what was the criteria, but the news was that AI content channels was being cracked down. So that, why I ask people to slow down, because that raises a question: if something is so good, right, then why you yourself, the creators, need to crack it down? And also, I believe that, I'm not sure what's your take in this, but we I think we both have been in the industry for more than 25 years. This is the first time where technologies have been, forcefully, you know, uh, I mean, it was forced to your throat, right? Earlier, if a new technology comes, we are the ones who used to go to our superiors and ask for new licenses or something. We used to adapt the technologies, right? Nobody forced us to use mobile phone. Nobody forced us to use office suits. Nobody forced us to use Linux, right? And lots of things like. But this is one thing where within 4 years, now think about it, it's not even 4 years. The first ChatGPT came November 2022, if I'm remembering it correctly, right?
Yeah,
Within
something like that.
3 4 years, you are putting it on everybody's system. So I'm not sure that tells a very compelling story as of today. So yeah, as you said, I think people need to slow down who are not directly impacted by this. And on top of that, I think I didn't realize that we are talking for more than 50 minutes now. So, before closing, I want to ask you, what is that you want to tell people who are worried about their jobs? Because this is also a reality. People are stressed out today. Everybody you talk to, in some conversation, this statement generally comes. At least it happened with me that at till the time AI is not taking my job, I am doing my job, kind of. It's kind of becoming an anxiety factor for the people. So I mean, don't know what's going to happen. It may or may not happen, but I believe that being in constant anxiety is not good for all of us. So, is there anything you would like to say? You know, like how you are seeing people. Like, is the same all over the world or with your clients?
Uh, yeah, people are reacting differently, or companies are reacting differently to this. It's really inspiring about slowing down and think a little bit on the AI impact. I really was inspired by IKEA story when implementing AI for the customer support, and basically they didn't fire people, but they reconvert them professionally, and they discovered a new revenue stream, which bring like $1 billion or something like that in 1 year. So that's really inspiring. There are some other companies which unfortunately they don't take this path, or they are
Right.
letting people go. My take on this is do not panic, but don't stay still either. AI is changing how we are working, but is not replacing humans in general. So basically, what we need to do, we need to increase our judgment, increase our human relationships, okay, increase our ownership about the things that we are doing, right, and putting more focus on owning the outcomes instead of creating artifacts, like, I don't know, creating agendas or meetings or stories or backlogs or things like that. uh, this is how you may protect to this disruptive and dynamic world right now. Also become AI fluent. I mean, it is like we learned a lot of tools. uh, we need to learn AI as well. So become AI fluent, understand what AI can and can't do, uh, how to validate AI outputs, how to context engineering using AI, and because we discussed a lot about human collaboration, master your facilitation skills at a higher
Right.
level. Is really important to focus on how the decisions get made, how the conflicts are resolved, coaching people on how to use AI effectively. Okay, coach teams how to inspect AI outputs with the critical thinking, right? Take ownership of the outcomes of your actions. I think those are strategic things that we can do
Mm-hmm.
to be a little bit, let's say, to protect us a little bit, right?
Right.
Uh, that's not, let's say, that's not. It's like a receipt for not being let go, but could help. I mean, could you may still be relevant in your position.
Right. Um, those were great points, Florin, actually, right? You know, I mean, as I'll say, you have to change, right? Change is constant. Change the way technology is changing. As you rightly said, like, we learned a lot of tools. If I see in 25 years, I don't know, maybe I have learned hundreds of tools, even though I've ended up using less of them. But lots of tool. Every 6 months or so, some new tool used to come. And earlier it used to come in magazines, then floppy CDs, then newsletters, then internet came, and all those things happened. So uh, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to share our experiences that we have gone through these disruptive changes. Of course, this is a kind of new, but you will have to adapt and change accordingly. One last thing that was there in my mind before I let you go, sorry for holding you back, is like,
It's fine.
it's training part, right? Today, AIs can train pretty much everything, right? You ask, like, I want a training in this, I want to learn this, they can do that. But when I talk to people, I say that, it's highly unlikely that you can learn from AI, but it's highly likely that you will learn from an individual person, human. So, you being a trainer with your trainer experience for a very long time, what's your take on this?
Okay, I think you may use both. Uh,
Okay.
my approach, it will be human training first, AI
Hmm.
training second. I mean, learn the fundamentals from a real trainer. Then you
Right.
may use AI to support as a support tool, reminding, tracking, extra practice. I don't know, creating different things with AI. Uh, I know there is a big discussion in training around the world about self-paced training, AI generated training, things like that. Uh, it might be valuable, but I still believe that training provided by humans is more valuable. I mean, what AI can't do, can't create really relationships, can't
Right.
read the room, right? Can notice when you are hesitant, when you are in poor form, or you are fatigued, or you are confident, or really showing up with enthusiasm. So. Uh, a real trainer, a human trainer, can see this and can adjust the training in such ways that AI can't do right now. And I think that's really valuable. And what I learned from how adults are learning. So you can't. I don't know. There are different techniques for training, right? uh, let's say exercises, group exercises, which I don't know creates this bonding, this sense of belonging in a group of people wanting to learn something. I don't
Right.
think AI right now could do this.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, could help a lot, but with learning, I also use for learning, but I'm still thinking that training provided by humans is better, and this still be for some time.
Right. Great points, Florin, and we just ran past our time. And so, thank you so much for all the wisdom you have shared today. I'm sure it will be useful for lots of people gonna tune in and see it either live or at some later point of time. And I really enjoyed talking with you. And
Yeah, me too. I didn't realize that 1 hour passed. Honestly, yeah, it was really funny. I was like, "What? We have so few minutes." Yeah.
yeah, and I'll be really interested to talk to you again at some point of time in future on some different topic. And again, thanks a lot for coming to this podcast. And have a great day. Bye.
Thank you, Dash. Thanks a lot for inviting me, and it was lovely to discuss with you. As usual, I like a lot to discuss with you. Thank you, everybody who will watch the video.